This is Kathy Beal of EmpowermentUnlimited.net with Astro-Insight for the week of August 17, 2020. Life continues to be combustible. There's no other word for it. All kinds of forces have been ignited within us, in situations, in other people, in the collective. There's fighting, there's anger, there is motivation to get moving already on all kinds of things. People are not sitting back quietly and letting life happen. We're no longer content to simply float day by day, but people are motivated and energized, and each of us, above all, has this happening somewhere deep within you. Things have been going on the last couple of weeks to really shake some stuff up and to turn the firepower up hotter and hotter and hotter. And this week it becomes incredibly personal. Incredibly personal. All of these impulses settle into us in our own beautiful balls of energy, and we are compelled to express ourselves, to be flamboyant, to be showy, to be absolutely who we are, and probably not even think about it much in advance. There's a strong sensation of time's a-wasting, and it's time. Not only is the clock ticking, but an alarm is going off, and there are things we have to do. We are compelled to do, forces igniting in us and coming up and out and through us, and driving us into what will be the direction of the future. And that's really what everything going on this week amounts to. But to break it down, the beginning of the week delivers incredible teamwork and flow from what we think, who we are, and moving forward. The Sun and Mercury meet. There's great personal clarity. Actually, it might just be sort of an intuitive understanding of who you are and where you are. And both the Sun and Mercury are in an extremely easy, unimpeded flow of energy with Mars, ruler of our drive, action hero, hothead, god of war, ruler of the masculine, the superhero in each of us. We are motivated. We don't even need to think about it. The mind is already on board. It's almost like you look in a certain direction and things start happening. You look in a direction and wham, you know what to do. Very impulsive, very high energy. So if you think you're going to be sitting around eating ice cream out of a small container at the beginning of the week, probably not. Now, there are adjustments. There are some outer circumstances that you have to make allowances for. There are maybe some obligations or something structural that you got to deal with, but there are openings, there are opportunities for things to break in a really happy-making way. Doorways, windows, offers, openings for something that's of great personal value to you. Might have monetary value, might be opening your creativity, might be something involving a relationship. Venus, ruler of all we value, the love goddess, in the sign of Cancer, which is, I'll just go bake. Let me be a home goddess here. I'm going to enjoy my house. I'm going to nest. Let me take care of you, is in an opportunity aspect or sextile to Uranus in Taurus, which she rules. The awakener, the guy that throws the lightning bolts. Things happen suddenly, there are breaks, things simply shift. But in this instance, since it's a sextile, it's closer to riding the merry-go-round at an old-style amusement park and having a brass ring coming up ahead. You have to grab it. Usually you get another ride or some kind of reward if you actually grab the brass ring. So you have to lean out from your horse or swan or whatever magical, fantastical, beautifully decorated being you're riding on the carousel. Reach out, grab the brass ring to get it. So notice what pops up, and there's a little bit of a stretch for you. There's a little bit of a reach for you. Probably it's going to be worth it. This coincides with the new moon in Leo late in the evening on the 18th in some places, early in the morning on the 19th in others. This new moon takes all of the catalytic, combustive energies that we've been experiencing for the past couple of weeks and puts them in a super-powered seed that could blast open. A new moon always starts a cycle. It's when something begins. This one has rocket fuel from Mars. This one requires an adjustment with outer circumstances. It requires taking responsibility in some way. Maybe it has an element of answering for. Maybe it has you going after an authority figure and fighting against it. The moon is in a doorway opening aspect to the North Node, which is the doorway to the future. So there's something here about, again, the stretch, the reach, doing something that opens the way to a different way of dealing, or a new or a refreshed way of dealing with information and data. And both the North Node and the moon are in an adjustment aspect to taskmaster Saturn, the lord of structure, ruler, order, planet of adulting. This forms something called a finger of God, and the finger is pointing right at Saturn. There's something here about stepping into your own creative voice and spirit and your own energy, light, whatever words you want to use for it, and thinking in the most positive, helpful way about yourself and changing whatever the little voice is that says no or wags its finger at you, dealing with adjusting somehow to the inner critic, the rules around you that maybe have constrained you before. This is finding a way to be yourself in the system somehow. On a collective level, this could certainly energize lots and lots of people to point the finger at authority. So I don't think that people are going to just lay down and take whatever they disagree with that government or people in power have been up to on any end of the spectrum. In the immediate aftermath of this, reason, distance, discernment, maybe the possibility for some calmer, cooler heads all come into play when Mercury, which rules communications, and then the sun move into Virgo, which is the how can I do this better sign, the sign of service, the sign of healthy boundaries, healthy choices. So the storyline of the week is essentially a tremendous amount of courage and excitement and activity and running and doing something, maybe a gigantic leap, and then having to make an adjustment, seeing openings for, ooh, I really want that, our sense of self getting even grander, more confident, more courageous, bolder, going headlong into the ever-changing structures, infrastructures, foundations, institutions, individually and collectively, and then pulling back just a little bit and thinking about things. So acting, then finally thinking and evaluating. Homing thought of the week. I can do this. Song of the week, basically any song with fire in it, in the title, in the meaning, but I've got three in particular for you. One is I Gotta Be Me, which I think Sinatra and who knows how many other people popularized. Jump Into the Fire by Harry Nilsson, and I'm on Fire by Bruce Springsteen. And the image of the week is Popeye eating a can of spinach and then going into hyperdrive. You'll learn lots more about this in my forecast for the Leo new moon, which is already up at my site, empowermentunlimited.net, where you can get my action figures talk, and with that, an understanding of what Mars is up to for the rest of the year. Also, sign up for my mailing list and book a session with me. There's lively and sometimes heated conversation on Facebook at Empowerment Unlimited and the group, the Astro-Insight Lounge. Lots of bonus content at patreon.com/Kathy Beal, and I'm really grateful to the people who are supporting my work there. I post whatever I feel like, sometimes astrologically, on Instagram at @KABeal, and I'm on YouTube at The Professional Aquarian Channel. Talk to you next week.